Hello, and welcome to World History Notes. I'm reading from my book, A Bible Believer Looks at World History, which I wrote to teach homeschoolers. And I certainly hope if you want to purchase it, you can get it on lulu.com, amazon.com, or the Bible Baptist Bookstore, or just follow me here. So we're going to begin today with the Shang Dynasty in China. During the time of general time frame of the Exodus in the Bible, the Shang Dynasty in China just recently conquered the Shao at the Battle of Mingqiao, and the Shao were eliminated. It is about this time that the Shang Palace complex at Anyang, China is built, and for the next 400 years or so, all the palaces of the Shang will duplicate this. The Shang also developed a system of writing and pictograms, similar in type to Sumerian cuneiform and Egyptian hieroglyphics, as stylized pictures strung together to form ideas. In this relative time period of around 1500 BC, traditional historians tell us that the Aegean volcanic island of Thera explodes, bringing an end to the Minoan Civilization on Crete. The resultant power vacuum allows for the expansion of both the Mycenaean of Homer's Iliad and Odyssey, as well as the Phoenicians, who later spread the alphabet that found its origins at Mount Sinai, if the Wacton is correct. Traditional historians give the Phoenicians credit for inventing what they spread. Of course, with the alphabet, they also spread child sacrifice along with their mercantile practices. Within a century, they would learn to use oared ships and to guide them by the stars to travel great distances, with Phoenician coins even having been found in Brazil. Around this time, the Lapita culture, ancestors of the modern people of Micronesia, Polynesia, and Melanesia, migrated to the islands of the Western Pacific. This culture is characterized by its intricately decorated pottery. The people of New Guinea started making freestanding stone figures about this time as well. The primitive Jomon culture is the name given to the people that live in Japan. The Bankao culture is the name given to the primitives in Thailand and Malaysia, as mankind continues to migrate outward from the Middle East or Western Asia. Meanwhile, the Unitise culture in Central Europe is flourishing. This culture was characterized, according to archaeologists, with bodies in burial arranged according to gender and according to compass direction. Their flat graves replaced the previous migrants' burial mounds. Horses and a culture of horsemanship had arrived around 1800 BC, and trade moves throughout primitive Europe. Stonehenge was already probably a few hundred years old at this time. No one knows what it or many of the massive stone megaliths were for that were created from Wales to the Salisbury Plains, but it may have been for ceremonies associated with the changing of the seasons. Troy rises in power and influence in what historians call its sixth city, with one ruin built on another, utilizing sophisticated military architecture that rivals the Minoans. The Mycenaean civilization, as just mentioned, begins to grow in power using great engineering, designing and building bridges, fortifications, and beehive-shaped tombs with elaborate drainage and irrigation systems with stones so large that later people thought that giants had built them. The remains found in the tombs do not give evidence that the Mycenaeans, Achilles, Agamemnon, or Odysseus were giants in any respect other than their appetite for blood and pride. Giant human remains have been found, however, everywhere from the South Pacific to South Africa, and we'll discuss some of that next. And I thank you. I hope this gives you something to think about.